Welcome back to another In Swine Versation episode, Swine Bio-Security with Lanxess. Welcome, Jeff Odle.
Thanks for having me, Jim. Appreciate you the invite.
We wanted to start with a career send-off or congratulations. I know you're winding up your career. You're going into retirement at the end of the year. You've been doing this since 1984. When you started out as an associate scientist, promoted to chemist. Can you kind of reflect on this, Jeff?
Yeah, it's been, I've been working full-time for 43 years, 38 years, and the last 38 years has been in agriculture. Started with DuPont as a laboratory technician and had some great opportunities. Worked with from formulating herbicides and fungicides to working into tech service and going into a role where I did more hands-on or field work in sugarcane processing, paper mills, just a whole number of different opportunities. And then eventually I ended up landing in animal health business when DuPont decided to create their animal health business. They bought a company called Biosecurity out of Atlanta, Georgia, for cleaners, and then we were already the producers of the active ingredient for Virkon S, oxone. We make that in our Memphis, Tennessee plant, and we ended up buying a company that we sold that oxone to, out of the UK called Antec International. And they formed their DuPont animal health business, and that's so around 2005, I became their technical manager for the animal health business.
So prior, you had a 5-year career in the Marine Corps?
Yeah, I went straight out of high school. I went into the Marines and got to experience a little bit of the world. Spent some time in Japan, but mostly in the States.
So why is the time now to retire?
Good question. I'll be turning 61 this year, and actually this coming Sunday, and my wife and I have done very, very well. We've been blessed with what we've been able to accomplish in our lives, and so we've got two grandsons that live right next door, and just want to spend more time with family and doing the things we would like to do.
One of the things you're passionate about is your product, Virkon. What's the core competency of this product?
Very much. Virkon is one of the premier disinfectants in the world. I used to work with a microbiologist called Dr. Carl Erkenbrecher, and Carl would say that there's really not a virus that we know of that it won't kill. And in my 17, 18 years that I've been doing this, every virus that we have tested, it has been effective against. So Virkon, and really the key things to know with disinfection is, does it kill what you're trying to kill? Is it effective against the pathogens that are of concern? If not, you might as well save your money and not do anything. So with Virkon, we know there's unrivaled efficacy on viruses, bacteria, and fungi. We've got over 500 studies in our library alone. And there's hundreds of field and university trials that have been done across many markets. Virkon is really a family of products, even though in swine, we know it, our core market is really in swine and poultry, but it goes across markets. So this product is effective against viruses or pathogens for human health, live production animals, poultry and swine, aquaculture. We have a companion animal product, and it's also effective in greenhouses and in horticulture for plant pathogens. So it's a very effective viricide, but also it's proven independently and by outside sources. So I'm not just saying it. It's just a great product. It's a multi-component formulation, so each ingredient aids in the performance at the farm level. It gives a rapid speed of kill, so which is important when you're looking at certain applications. So we know it in swine for boot baths. Nobody's going to stand in a boot bath for 10 minutes. So you have to have a very fast speed of kill. And for something like avian influenza, we can kill that in a 15-second contact time. It does, the formulation itself contains a surfactant, about 15% surfactant. So it helps also to remove any remaining soil. So if you haven't done a very good job cleaning, then it can help remove some of the soils that remain. Another important factor would be the safety profile. EPA won't allow you to say a disinfectant is safe, but the safety profile compared to other chemistries, it's very benign in a sense that there's no excessive PPE that needs to be worn, no respirators. The powder is considered corrosive to skin and eyes, but once you mix it into solution, it's no longer corrosive. So, again, as a powder, that's one of the advantages too, is you reduce freight costs. You're not shipping a lot of water or liquids around. It doesn't require a lot of storage space, and it also has an extended shelf life of 3 years. So, a lot of advantages to using Virkon S compared to some of the other chemistries that are out there.
What about fall solutions for producers? I know we're at the end of September now, and you guys have different solutions people should be thinking about, Jeff.
Yeah, we used to recommend a rotation of products. Not only does it help in shocking the system so that organisms can't get resistance develop from using the same chemistry over and over and over, but also when you look at a product like Virkon S, it's not impacted by temperature. There are chemistries such as glutaraldehyde that are impacted negatively by temperature, and so with glutaraldehyde, it takes either a higher concentration or a longer contact time to get that same efficacy. But with oxidative chemistries, they're not impacted by temperature. So it's, when you're trying to disinfect a hog trailer, say in Canada in wintertime, then you need something that's going to be able to give you that efficacy in that short contact time under those conditions.
What about cool cell pads?
This was something we kind of stumbled onto. Is cool cell pads are like poor man's air conditioner. You're taking water and you're dribbling it down through a corrugated cardboard substrate, and then you're drawing air from the opposite side of the house. So you're drawing that cool air throughout the house. But the problem here, especially on the Eastern Shore, is we get a lot of stale buildup from hard water, and you also get algae. So that will tend to plug either the pipes or the nozzle holes that are used to drip the water in, but also decreases the airflow through those pads. The Virkon S by itself, it's an acidic pH, so it'll help dissolve those hard water ions, keep those into solution. But it's also the disinfectant, so it can kill the algae, and you're basically doing a clean and disinfect in one step. You can do the same thing with water lines throughout the house. Put the 1% solution of Virkon into those water lines, let them sit overnight, and then flush that out prior to allowing the animals to drink. Now, outside the U.S., we do have applications where we put Virkon in the water line. That's part of the drinking water, which the birds or pigs will drink. But we've yet to figure out how we're going to get that registration through either EPA or through FDA in the U.S.
So if you've never heard of Virkon, what's like the 60-second informative information you would tell a producer?
I guess I'd have to ask them what their main concern is. What keeps them up at night? What's the pathogen that's causing you the most problems? Is it mycoplasma? Is it a virus? Do you have bacteria problems? We sell Virkon into food processing plants where they're concerned about salmonella. So it's really the the key to Virkon is you use it because it kills. It is the pathogen, or we say here, it's the science to kill pathogens is on my shirt. So, and we do have a lot of science that's been built into the product, and we are constantly testing Virkon. We want to know what the limitations are. So we will lower the concentration, see if we can make it more economical. Lower the contact times, how fast does it kill, or even lower temperatures so that we know that it's effective when it's going to be used in cold temperatures.
So when we talk about the latest research, I know you've spoken at the last 5 AASV meetings. So what do we need to know?
Yeah, it's been a pleasure going to the AASVs and speaking. So I've talked about the chemistry and how all pathogens are not equal. Some are much harder to kill than others. There is a hierarchy of what's easy to kill versus what's hard to kill. I guess the example that a lot of people will ask me is, well, does it kill canine parvo? Canine parvo is a small non-envelope virus that is one of the more difficult pathogens to kill. And we can kill canine parvo in a 1-minute contact time. I've also talked at AASV about the different variables that negatively impact performance for disinfection, such as temperature, time, the amount of organic challenge that's present. Some of the other topics we've covered, I've provided examples of misbranding or misleading claims and where to go to find data that supports the claims in marketing literature. Disinfectant manufacturers are not allowed to promote claims that are not particularly on the label. So if you don't have foot and mouth disease on your label, then you can't go out and tell people that your product kills foot and mouth disease. So there are a lot of examples out there of misbranded or misleading claims, and I'm trying to show the veterinarians and the growers that there is a place that you can go to find the data that supports the claims that you can see in marketing literature. I've also discussed on what I call enhanced biosecurity. It's how do you tailor that disinfectant or biosecurity protocol to the application. So you could use lower concentration or use a product like Virkon S to say for cool cell pads or low temperatures and shorter contact times. This year in Indianapolis, I spoke at AASV, and I kind of gave an outsider's viewpoint on PRRS. So PRRS has been around for 40 years, and it doesn't seem like we've made some progress. There's been a lot of research done in certain areas, but it really, to me, is getting back to the basics, because in the US, we power wash and then we disinfect. We don't really use a commercial cleanser to go in there and help remove all those soils. So the whole purpose of cleaning and disinfection, cleaning, get that level of pathogens down to a point where your disinfectant will be effective.
So let's have a little fun here, go down memory lane. Do you have a career highlight or story to share?
I would say one of the biggest highlights was, we created the business under DuPont, and DuPont at the time wanted to be everything to everybody, from farm to fork. And then they kind of changed directions. So they spun the business off in especially chemicals business and created a company called Chemours. And Chemours disinfection was not a key component of what Chemours wanted to do. So they sold us to Lanxess, and Lanxess is one of the largest antimicrobial producers in the world. So we produce phenolics, we produce glutaraldehyde. We just acquired International Flavors and Fragrances. They have a glutaraldehyde business. We've got that. We're the largest producer in the world of what we call oxone, or the potassium peroxymonosulfate, one of the active ingredients in Virkon. So there's a real commitment on the Lanxess Corporation to stay in the disinfection business and be one of the providers. And it's been very enjoyable for my career the last 7 years, is being with a company who wants to invest in the business and is interested in growing it.
And you've been a great part of that, and kind of going out on your terms, I guess, at a kind of high level.
Yeah, I've got some. I've been very fortunate. I have a wife who's very financially responsible, and I used to tell people that in the Marine Corps, my wife would give me $5 a week. I could get a 6-pack of beer and a haircut, and that was my allowance. So we have a farm in West Virginia, and I want to start getting my grandsons down there and do some hunting for deer and turkeys.
More family time, more time outdoors. And how many acres do you have?
A little under 400 for our family farm. So okay. it's a pretty nice little place, and got lots of game, lots of being able to either go fishing or even if just go walk through the woods. Just a real good little piece of heaven.
So one more critical point in regards to the biosecurity, maybe we touch on the difference between the US and Canada.
Oh yeah, to me it's night and day, because Canada, they really put a big emphasis on cleaning. You got to clean those surfaces. You want to bring that level of pathogens down, and then you can use a disinfectant that maybe isn't as powerful as say a Virkon, but it'll still be effective because you've done such a great job cleaning. In the US, we tend to just power wash. So I've done swabbing in swine barns before, where power washing removes the bulk soils, but it also atomizes a lot of the bacteria and creates a uniform coating across the entire barn. So I think that we could do a better job of cleaning in the US. Use a commercial formulated cleaner. Cleaners are designed for specific soils. A perfect example would be what you would use in your house. You use a dishwashing soap for cleaning dishes, so that type of soil, but then you'll use more of an acidic cleaner in the bathroom, get rid of scale buildup and say on the shower. So the same thing goes for cleaning at a farm. Organic soils tend to alkaline cleaners tend to do better jobs on organic soils, whereas acidic cleaners will do a better job on hard water scale. And it's important because also you have a lot of products are designed to foam, and that foam will give you a contact time on vertical surfaces, so that cleaner doesn't just run straight down the wall and then off. It'll stick there and give you that resonance time for it to be able to penetrate those soils and loosen them so that they can be easily rinsed off.
Well, congratulations again, Jeff, on all your success and knowledge and everything you've done in the industry.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And we'll be leaving Lanxess in good hands. They've got a good crew, and I appreciate all the feedback and the interaction with the customers over the years. And I'm sure I'll miss it, but on to bigger things.
Thanks for joining me in Swineversation, Jeff Odle. Congratulations.
Thanks, Jim. I appreciate you having me.